Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Let's Learn Tech channel. Today, we're going to be going into the TEC Extender and really diving into the nuts and bolts of it. For a lot of you, you've probably selected the TEC Extender and have been using it if you watched my previous video, and you kind of rather enjoy it. Um, However, sometimes there's not a script for what you want to do. If you look here, you have the basic scripts that are in the game. But you'll notice something like if you're a knife user, there's no knife script. So what happens when you have a script you want to run, but it's not available? Well, you have to create it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a script and the different parts of it at this time. And then I'm going to walk you through kind of like what all the pieces mean, how to make your own script easily, and then where to put it in the extender. So let's start with that. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to have to hit edit scripts because you need to look at what you're dealing with. And so if you look here, it's a lot of gibberish for most people and they doesn't make a lot of sense. But we'll cover that, don't worry. If it looks like it's kind of right justified, so if everything's kind of pushed over to the right and you don't like the way it is, I like it kind of collapsed to the left. What you do is you come up in here and you hit the collapse or compact the JSON data, and that'll push everything together. Very hard to read, very hard to work with. But then you just hit the format JSON data, and it moves it back to the left side. So if it's your first time going in and tooling with this, everything may be pushed over to the right. Just do that simple fix, and it'll push everything to the left and kind of makes it like nice and neat and organized. But this is what you're looking at. So what I did is I took some examples, and I have them split out so that it's a little easier to read. But first, we're going to go over what are the sections of a script. And caveat, whenever you use or whenever you're working on scripts in this game, I suggest you use Notepad or something similar. If you use a Word document or like Open Word or any of those things, sometimes the symbols, they look the same, but they're different symbols. And when you go to put it in the extender where the JSON data is, it won't recognize it as what you want it to, and then it'll give you like a script error even though everything looks fine. So just stick to Notepad. It's the easiest way to do it. It's kind of like writing any document in tech. You always do it in Notepad because it seems to work best when it comes to the game and the commands. So what are we looking at here? Sorry, it sounded like somebody was knocking. So you have three basic parts of the script. You have the opening. I mean, okay, caveat. I'm not a script expert. I'm not a coder. I just know how to make it do what I want it to do for the most part. So this is coding stupid Jaeger BTFM's explanation of scripts and how to work them. So the first thing you have here is kind of like the opening. And that is going to be just add attack false. Don't know what that means. Command list with a bracket. This is telling it, hey, everything that comes after this from bracket to bracket is a command. And then the middle part is this is where all the commands go. I think that's my... Hold on one second. We'll be right back. Sorry about that. So, what you're looking at here is you're looking at a list of commands. This is like the meat of the script. This is where you're going to put all the commands that you're going to do or all the things that it's going to look for. And then you have the ending, which is kind of like the admin data of the script. So you have opening with a bracket, and then that bracket goes with this bracket at the very end, and then you have all your admin data here. Now, when you're looking at things in this script, they're segmented by either brackets or whatever these are called, pointy parentheses. I'm not sure what the actual name of those is, but that is kind of like telling it this is all one piece. So if you kind of think about algebra from high school, you know how you used to have factors and you would have parentheses 2x plus 3 parentheses, and then another parentheses that was like 4x plus 2. That's what this is doing. It's just pushing everything together and saying this all goes together based on where you find the brackets and the parentheses. Now, it doesn't matter where these are. Like, you'll see there's a bunch of spaces here. That could be deleted. It makes no difference. I just keep them kind of in the same order, so I know if I'm missing one, really. That's why I have them justified like this. But so every script is going to start with this opening, right? Um, and then you're going to have the commands, you're going to have the ending. So I'm going to go through it backwards. I'm going to start with this down here. So looking at the admin data, if you want to create your own script, I would copy a script already in the extender and then just kind of take out what you need and change it. So if you look here, you have script friendly name, Avros Critter. What this is it's what you're going to see when you click on the drop down menu here. So whatever name is in there is what's going to appear on this list. Excuse me. I had spicy ramen. It is delicious, but not agreeing with me at all. Script name is what like the extender looks at it for. Just put something in here that makes enough sense that it's differentiated from every other script that you have, but it doesn't have to be anything flashy. It doesn't even have to make sense. It's just kind of like the unique identifier. So this is kind of like the given name, and this is like the identifier number. Next, you're going to have script type. You want combat. If it's a non-com script, I'll show you them towards the end, but this would be non-com, and then you wouldn't have anything after this. Should kill true means it will try to kill the enemies when they go unconscious. Now, if you look in the extender, keep that as true, and then in the combat extender, you just de-click that, and it will stop doing that. So I would keep the script the way it is and just use the extender if you don't want to kill your targets if they go down. Definitely turn it off if you're using this in a PvP fight, so you don't get charged the 500 RPs for combing somebody. Anyway, moving on. So should kill parse. What you're looking for here is what is the wording on the kill message that you're going to have if you kill something. For swords, for Gladius, it's you slit a whatever the mob is throat with, and then whatever your weapon is. So all you need is the part of the kill message that has the word you in it. You'll notice with a lot of these commands, you want to have the word you or your in it so that if somebody else that like if you just put slit a here and somebody else slits the throat of something, your script would it would mess it up because it's seeing that command but not where it's supposed to be. Or you can artificially get somebody to trigger something in their script if you know the wording of what it's looking for. So the best thing to do is just have you, because the only time you will see you in the game is if you are doing something or something is happening to you. So just remember that when you're doing this. And then you have a stance command. If whatever weapon you're using has a stance, you just put whatever the command is to get into the stance right here. Okay, so that is the end part. The beginning is kind of simple. Let's get to the actual moves, okay? So you have command, parse, move next when, and outcome. What this does is it kind of goes in order. It says, what command are we going to put in? S/. So when I start my script, the first thing it's going to do is put that first command into the game. You're not going to see an echo. You're just going to see the action occur. And then what the parse is the parse is what is this script looking for in order to go to the next thing. So it basically has a trigger and then an action word, so to speak. The trigger is for S/, suddenly with your. So I think the message for S/ is like, sorry, you strike down with your arm and then suddenly with your gladius you make a slashing strike or whatever. Suddenly with your appears in the message. So the command executes, then the extender sees the message, which means the command went through and gave the action echo. And so it knows, okay, now that I've seen that criteria, the suddenly with your, I will move to the next command once I see you are no longer busy. So that's the pieces of the action in the command. And then once it sees that and it hits no, you are no longer busy, it'll go to the next command, whirl in this case, which is whirling strike for Avros. Again, it'll wait to see extending your, which it's like extending your gladius in an arcing strike or something like that. You'd think I'd know this by heart now, but I don't. It'll see that it's primed to move, and then once the you are no longer busy happens, which means the strike is over and you can execute your next action, it will then move to the next action. Once it gets to the very last action, it just repeats at the top. It's that simple. If for some reason you create a non-com script later and you want it to stop, like a healing script, and you want it to go through like every part of your body and then stop, you basically just put in here a criteria that will never be met. So you would have a command like say I'm done, which I do, and then it moves next when you are no longer busy, and the outcome is something extravagant like aliens invaded tomorrow. You're never going to see that in the game, so it will just stop when that happens. So that is the basics of a script. Now, I told you you're looking for you or your when it comes to what is the action. So how do I build one of these commands, right? Now we'll just save it. Now, the way a script looks completely, there's none of those lines in it. It looks, this is the same script without those like section markers in it. So it kind of looks like this. Everything, there's one thing for each line, and then it's all compact like that. Now, we showed when you have an action with one outcome, it looks like this, okay? You have the bracket to start and the bracket to end, and that's saying there's everything in here is one move. And then you have the command, you have the parse, and the parse has its own little bracket here, and then you put those things in. Now, sometimes what you're looking for is a fail message and a success message, and you're trying to find what language occurs in both of those that is similar or the same that I can use. So when you're looking at s/, suddenly with your appears in both a fail and a hit, and it has the word you or your in it. So it's good to use. Sometimes you have actions that have two outcomes. If you look at upward bash with shields, if you hit, it says you bash upward at A and then whatever the target is. But if you miss, it says you miss A, whatever the target is. So in this case, we basically have two outcomes that we want the script to move forward on. We have a success message top and a fail message bottom. The parse is just a little different. Instead of a bracket, or instead of like the pointing parentheses here, you use a bracket. I know I interchange bracket and this, just bear with me. But you have this and this go together, right? So everything between here and here goes together. And then this is the start, and this down here is the end. So you basically just put one action and then another action and then the bracket without a comma, because that bracket goes with this one. That's two outcomes. You can have as many outcomes as you want. Strike and Smash for Avros has 4 outcomes that it could have. It has success, chopping quickly with your. Fail, you bring your Gladius down, whatever. Then, if the opponent is on the ground already, you can't use it. So we're looking for the outcome must be standing, or if they're unarmed, you also cannot use this. So you're looking for, you can only use this maneuver against an armed opponent. So in any one of those 4 criteria, when the script sees that any one of these outcomes, it will move to the next attack. Now, something looks different, right? There's no you are no longer busy here in these two. And the reason is because when you execute the command smash, if it can't do it, there is no you are no longer busy. So you use nothing, just nothing. There's not even a space in between there. You just smash them together when the game is not looking for, like, it'll basically move next on anything, which is this. It will move next as soon as it sees this. It's not waiting for a second thing to move. So if you have an action that doesn't have a round time, so basically the only thing you get from the game when you do the action is you get the like message from the action. You just put nothing in here for move next when, and then you just have the outcome be the message that the game actually gives you. You could have an infinite number of criteria to make it move forward. It's just, it's up to you. So the easiest way to find out when you're looking at scripts what should go in here is go fight a mob that's easy. And then, but not critters, use humans. Excuse me. Because what you want to do is you want to attack and get your success message. And then you want to you do your attack in Berserk if you need to, so you're guaranteed a success, and then you kind of like copy that to a notepad and look at it. Then you go into defensive and you spam the same attack over and over again so that you start building up that penalty. And eventually you'll hit 95 where you can't hit the human anymore because you're your penalty is too high. And then you just look at that fail message, and then you compare the two and you go, okay, what is the same in both of these that has you or your in it so that it'll trigger on both. Now sometimes there's nothing that's the same, and then you have to use the two outcome like here, or the three outcome, or whatever. But what you're really looking for is something that can be with both, but you can make this as complicated as you want, or as many criteria as you want. Okay, so that is a simple combat script here. Now I'm going to show you a simple non-com script for locking and unlocking an egg. Whoops. There we go. So can you see it? Yep, just making sure. So for this, you'll see I have the command lock egg with lockpick. It'll move next when it hears the click, which means the action completed, and I successfully locked it. If you get anything else for this, you are no longer busy. Like let's say I failed the lock move and it didn't see this, it would repeat the action until it sees that. So that's why if your attack has a fail message that's different, you would keep using that same attack until it succeeded, and you don't want to do that in combat. You want to move to the next action. But in non-coms, it really doesn't matter. So sometimes you just want to keep going, like with locking the egg, you want to keep going until it locks. So you hear this click as it closes, and then you get the you are no longer busy, and then it moves to the unlock. But if it's already locked, we have it moving next when it's already locked, and you will get nothing else. So it would then immediately try to unlock the egg. Biggest difference is if you look down here at the non-com ending or closing, there's only three pieces. You have the name you're going to see in the drop-down list, the short name or like unique name, and then you just script type, you put non-com, and then it won't do the ancillary things that a combat script will do. A combat script will do killing targets when they go unconscious. It'll auto stand you if you, or auto backwards rise you, depending on what you have clicked in the extender. If you're down and you go to do an attack and it says you must be standing, it'll auto stand you up. Little things like that. That's just not activated in the non-com script. But okay, so that covers pretty much everything except the piece that I forgot the last time I recorded this video, which was where do you put it now that you made it? So let's say you make a script and you're like, okay, I want to try it out. You're going to insert it into here. Now, if you mess this up, you will get a big error message at the bottom like that. And it's going to say, hey, there's something wrong. If you're working with a script, I would just close it because it doesn't save anything, and then go back into your notepad and start looking at it and go, okay, what did I mess up? So I don't have this Avros critter script in here. So I'm going to copy everything. I'm going to hit edit scripts. And now I have to figure out where I want to put it. So it will appear, I suggest don't ever mess with the very first script or the very last script, because they have different openings and closings. So you can put it in after the first one to be the second one, but I wouldn't mess with the first one or the very last one until you are really good at doing this. So we're going to put it in after the 4-part course, because I look at my drop-down menu and I say, I want it right here between the 4-parter and the archery. And then the other thing you can do is when you go into the script, if there's scripts in here that you will just don't use or will never use, you can just cut them out and get rid of them, and then it'll make your drop-down list a little bit shorter. So let me move this out of the way. And then bring this back up. Okay. So I'm going to look here, and I'm going to do a search for 4-part. And then I found it. So the 4-parter is here. Because I want this script to come after, I go to the ending piece of the script, because this goes with this, right? And this goes with the new script. All I do is hit enter to put a space in between. I hit Control V to paste everything in, and then save script. Now I come over here, I look at the 3-parter, and look. Well, you can't see it because it's going down that way. There we go. So look, we have Avros Critter right here nested between the 4-parter and the archery course. Archery core, I should say. So that, my friends, is how you create a script and then how you insert it into the JSON client or the window or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Um, but that's how you do it. So if you guys have any more questions about it, feel free to hit me up. You can either ask the questions here on the YouTube channel, or you're more than welcome to drop into my stream Discord, which is open to everybody. Just drop the question in the Tech Out of Character channel there. And if you're on the main Discord, but not mine, if you go into the unofficial clients channel, you can post it there and somebody will help you. But if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you answer them. I'm more than happy to help create ones for you. Somebody just wanted a knives script, so I made one for them real quick. It only took me like 10 minutes, maybe, tops. But once you get used to doing this, it gets easier. I would say play around with it. The worst that happens is you screw it up, and then all you have to do is go to the GitHub page that Jay Daly made, where you get the actual extender. If you look back to the extender installation video, you go down here to scripts, you hit script collection, and then you just select all. Whoops, no. Oops, there we go. Copy raw file, and then you can paste it, or you can download it if you want. That's what I did. But this is all the ones so that if you screw something up really bad, you can just delete everything and then paste this in there, and then you're basically back to where you started. So, or you just hit cancel and it won't do it. It will throw out all your changes. But that's it, guys. Really, there's nothing else to add. There's a lot of people willing to help you. Just try your hand at it. Once you get good at writing your own scripts, it's so nice because anytime you need to do something, you just figure out how to write it. I have ones for cooking massive amounts of fish. Thank you, Zool. He gave me wagons full of fish I had to cook, but it basically you can make it do anything you want. You just have to be creative in how you do it. So for now, though, keep playing tech, keep having fun, and I will catch you guys later. Bye bye.